Ladies and gentlemen, it's currently early 2024, and AI is taking over the world. Artificial intelligence is the cornerstone of every single international business conference. AI potentially poses a massive problem for a ton of industries, and many people could potentially lose their jobs, careers, passions as AI takes over. Except in chess. In chess, we live in harmony with our AI overlords. You see, AI in chess can be completely horrible at the game. It can be the best in the world at the game. It doesn't matter. We extract the benefits from AI, but people still want to see human beings play chess. And in today's video, I've got a treat for you because I discovered a new, terrifying, but absolutely hilarious chess bot. And this chess bot doesn't even have a name. You see, I was browsing Snapchat. People my age used to use it back in the day. Now, I don't even know who uses it. And there's an AI on there. And I played that AI. That AI is supposed to be a mirror of yourself. And I played it in a game of chess. And you are not going to regret clicking on this video because buckle up. This was absolutely nuts. This bot doesn't have a name. Maybe it should have a name. Call it something interesting like Dexter. Remember those cartoons on Cartoon Network? I was playing with the black pieces in this game, and this is truly 7-dimensional chess. The bot began with the move e4. I was actually quite shocked the bot even knew the move e4. Like, I thought it wouldn't. And I thought, all right, I'm playing a bot. I don't know how good it is. Let me play c5. Let's keep in mind that I've once lost a game of chess to a treadmill. I haven't made a video about that game because back then I wasn't a YouTuber, but you never know how good an AI is until you start playing it. So e4, c5. I went for the Sicilian defense. This is the most confrontational opening against the king's pawn. Did not go for my traditional Caro-Kann. And here the AI played knight c3. Okay. Knight c3 is a closed Sicilian. You know, generally the open Sicilian is predicated upon whether white plays the move d4 or not. If white's not going to play d4 because they don't want to get their queen in the center, we're going to have a closed Sicilian. So I played a6. a6 is an interesting move. Generally against the closed Sicilian, black will put the bishop on g7. This is known as the dragon style Sicilian. But a6 is designed to very quickly expand over here. It's one of the most common moves. And maybe even to b4 slowly, kick the knight out of the center. So I played a6, and the AI played bishop c4. Already maybe a slight inaccuracy, the move bishop c4. Bishop c4 is generally not good if it's going to run into this move b5, but, you know, we're going to see what happens. And I played b5, right? So, okay, terrific. I'm attacking the bishop on c4. Now, at this point, things already got a little bit weird. And I thought I wasn't going to have enough content here because in this position, the computer played queen b3. Now, that's mate in one if it's white's move. This is always thinking it's white to move, so, you know, you can keep an eye on this. Queen b3. I told it you can't play queen b3. You can't teleport through your pawn. It said, oh, man, all right, I'll play knight f3. You know, this is generally considered pretty good protocol, developing your pieces like this. But I thought, well, the bot made a mistake, because now I can just take the bishop. I told it couldn't play queen b3. It tried to develop. Okay, no problem. So I took the bishop. I thought, okay, I'm in good shape now. I'm up a bishop. But I wasn't ready. In this position, it played bishop takes c4. It monster reborned its bishop. And that's how I knew we are going to get content out of this video. You see, I just had a pawn on that square. I took the bishop, instant replay. The bishop respawned. I don't have a pawn anymore. Now, I follow the rules of the game, okay? I'm not going to spawn any pieces. I am basically playing against a bot that has an unlimited supply of pieces at any given moment. So I'm ready to lose, right? Now, I got to protect my king before it spawns something on my king, so I played the move e6. I think this is a pretty good move. It blocks my opponent's bishop's diagonal. And now, for some reason, the bot did kind of a switcheroo on me. I wasn't really ready for this one. I thought the bot was going to castle, but it decided to play bishop back to d3. Safe move, right? Now I know I've got to develop. I've got to, you know, get my pieces out slowly. So I played bishop to d3, and I developed. the knight to f6. Now, again, a move ago, what it probably should have done other than castle is it should open up the center of the board to get out its bishop. But what I wasn't ready for is that it would do the old switcheroo. It would play bishop d3 and then boing, it would pogo stick over the bishop to d3. Do kids still pogo stick or do they just TikTok dance all day? I don't even know. But pogo stick, right? It pogo sticked over the bishop on d3. People still have razor scooters. Is that a thing? I feel like a geriatric older citizen here just sitting here complaining about the youth. Anyway, d4 is a natural move. I told you in the very beginning of this video that if it wants to play an open Sicilian, it's going to play d4. It's predicated upon that move. Clearly, the nameless bot does in fact want to do that. I took on d4, and it played knight takes d4. So far, so good. Now it's going to castle. It's going to play bishop g5 and f4, and we're going to have a nice and exciting Sicilian on our hands. I mean, I don't have a b pawn, but whatever. It's fine. I'll live. So here I played knight c6. Okay, I played knight c6. The idea, of course, is to target the knight in the center of the board. And again, remember, this bot breaks the rules, but sometimes it actually plays logically. So I have absolutely no idea what's in its brain. In this position, it played bishop to e3, defending the knight. Like, that's the worst part about this bot, is that it's a complete moron that bends the rules and has no idea where any of the pieces are. And then it'll play a really logical move. It's kind of like you. It sort of plays chess pretty similarly to how you play chess. You're not too different, this nameless robot and yourself. You just know how to poop and stuff. Not always in the right location. I mean, but whatever. Anyway, bishop to e3. All right, bishop to e3, and I developed my bishop to b4. It's a very common move in the Sicilian, particularly in e6, a6 Sicilians, known as the Taimanov or the Paulson Khan. There's a little bit of information for you. You like to put the bishop over here, put some pressure, right? So bishop b4, and in this position, the bot castled. It castled its king. I actually kind of suggested castling. So I played bishop to b4, and I was like, I play bishop b4, you should really consider castling your king. I just wanted to know if it knew what that was. And it said, okay, I castle. Oh. And I was like, oh. So I also castled. All right, not like that. We both castled our kings. All right, both of us have castled our kings. And then in this position, the bot said, okay, your move. And I was like, no, but I just castled. What are you talking? What? I thought this was the end of the game. But the bot said, okay, well, I castle again. I didn't want to argue with it. You know what? If it wants to castle a second time, it wants to, like, really castle. I said, all right, fine. Knight takes d4. I figured the less pieces the bot has, the better, right? And in general, the move that I would like to play in this position, like right now, just from a optical standpoint, my bishop is a little bit behind in development, and I want to attack a pawn in the center like this, but I can't do that unless, you know, the knight's going to take. So I thought, all right, look, if I get rid of my opponent's pieces, then I'm going to trade, then I'm going to attack the center, then that's how we're going to play. Now, I was not ready for the pogo stick jutsu again, because in this position, the terrifying bot played queen takes d4. It forgot it moved its bishop there. It jumped over, fine, and now it's attacking my bishop. Good move. White definitely has an advantage. The position is plus 3.85 because it thinks it's white to move, at which point white would take my bishop. I played a move here I'm not really proud of. It's not a good move. I should probably bring the bishop back. I should keep the bishop alive. I took the knight. That's not a good move. You see there, white definitely has an advantage. White is up a pawn. And if white takes with the queen or the pawn, I probably got to, you know, very quickly fight back here. So I took, and then it played b takes c3. And now white is just clearly better, right? If you look at the evaluations, +2, because again, it thinks it's white to move. If you're wondering why white is clearly better, I have a lot of dark squared weaknesses. I'm also a pawn down. So I'm a pawn down. My bishop is stuck. White's got a very powerful queen. White has the only dark squared bishop on the board, and white is going to play rook b1, rook d1, put some very serious pressure on me, and just not let me get my bishop out. So I'm down a pawn, and I have no compensation. This is what we call white is up a pawn and has the compensation, right? But I played bishop b7. I'm keeping a positive outlook on life. I'm going to play d5. I'm going to put my rook on the c file, and we are going to see what happens. And white plays rook f d1, which is a really good move. Yeah, I mean, putting a rook in the center of the board, ready to fight on the d file. The bot is also going to go here. Like I said, it makes a lot of dumb moves, but then it also plays the game the right way, which is very, very frustrating. Right, now, the best move here for black, probably to fight back in the center of the board. And so I played pawn to d5, okay? And yeah, now black is back in business. You know, white can take this pawn. If white takes this pawn, I'm going to maybe take with the knight, and then I'm fighting against these doubled pawns. If this pawn is here, which I can just move over, white is much better. But you see the evaluation is plus 0.99, 0.1, and here it's 1.3, 1.2. It'll get up there a little bit if it thinks for a little bit longer, but it's definitely better to have undoubled pawns, right? So I played d5. And now here, the terrifying bot plays bishop takes d5. So it chops down on my pawn by jumping over the queen, okay? Now, I'm a smart guy, so I play pawn takes d5, right? It took me, and now I'm in good shape. I'm up a bishop. I thought, all right, it blundered, stupid bot, I take. Terrific. It took back. Now here, I could trade the queen. Actually, it's probably the best move. Offer a queen trade. My queen is well supported 2 times. And if the bot doesn't take me, I can mate the bot. Now, I was a little bit worried about bringing out my queen. Why was I worried about bringing out my queen? Because the ghost of the bishop is haunting this pawn. You understand? This bishop already respawned multiple times. So I had a feeling if I took, it would spawn a bishop out of nowhere. All right? I was very worried about this. I was very worried that if I played queen d5, a bishop would just fly over from z27 and take my queen, which is why in this position, I went knight takes d5. And I was right. I was rightfully afraid of the bot because in this position, the bot played pawn takes d5. It played pawn takes d5, and I asked it, where was the pawn? It said the pawn was on e4. So I was right not to put my queen in the center because it would have taken me. So I played knight takes d5, and it took, and it took my knight with the pawn. Now I'm losing. All right? Again, I will remind you that a moment ago, this was the position. I was up a knight. I was about to trade the knight for the bishop. I was going to bring my queen out there. Not right now, but just in the future. I was going to deliver me. Now, I'm down. All right? I'm losing by 3 pawns. I just went from down 1 pawn to down 3 pawns. I don't have any pieces, and white is going to win this game by playing c4, c5, c6, d6, marching down the center of the board and beating me, or mating me, just straight up mating me over here. Now, this is tough. This is really tough. At this point, I was mad for doing this, and, you know, I didn't think that any content was going to come out of this, so I said, you know what? We're going to buckle up, rook e8, we're going to take the open file, and we are going to play this endgame like Magnus Carlsen, and like I said, I am not going to bend the rules. I am a proper man. I'm going to follow the rules of the game of chess. And if this bot wants to be a deviant, okay, wants to be a criminal of the game, wants to denigrate the game, all right, wants to bring the game of chess into disrepute, then it can. And in this position, the bot played c4. And like I said, this bot breaks the rules, but when it's time not to break the rules, there goes its pawn, and it is going to march the pawn directly into c6. I'm completely lost. I have absolutely nothing. So I buckle up, and I play rook c8. And as if it wasn't bad enough, of course, the best move in this position is c5. Unquestionably, the best move is just to march into the position, because I can't do anything. Maybe the second best move is to triple up, overprotect the pawn, make sure the king is not mated on the back rank at any point, just put the pawn on c6. As if it wasn't bad enough, this position, and this bot hadn't cheated enough in this game. In this position, the bot played c2 to b3. The bot played b3. And I said, which pawn went to b3? And the bot said, this one. Now it undoubled its pawns. I told you like 3 minutes ago, the only thing that's good about the black position is the fact that white has doubled c-pawns. They don't have doubled c-pawns anymore. Not only does white not have doubled c-pawns, the bot was trying to play connect 4 the entire time. I mean, what am I supposed to do? All right, I'm a human being. I have limitations. I can't fly. All right, I gotta get into a gigantic metal object to fly. I don't have wings. I can't even play chess properly. I got a thing against me that's playing connect 4 and chess at the same time. And it probably knows my location. And it probably knows what I want to buy next week. Probably knows what I'm going to name my first child. What am I supposed to do? I did what any human being could do. I tried to fight back. I played a5. Played a5. What's the idea of a5? I'm trying to use my flank pawn to take and then damage the structure. I don't know. What did the bot do when I played a5? It didn't play c5, luckily. It forgot about that. It played a3. Okay. What did I do? Followed my plan, followed my dreams, played a4. Because now, if it takes me, it's got a couple of weaknesses. I don't know. We'll hope for the best. We'll see what happens. Maybe, right? Maybe. Okay, terrific. It played b4. Yeah. Now it's plus 4.7, 5.3. All right? And it's just winning. It has 3 connected pass pawns. That's what we call that. We call a pawn that if it has no pawn stopping its path to the end of the board, it's called a pass pawn. We call 2 pawns together as connected pass pawns. We call this 3 connected pass pawns. You know what we really call it? We call it a migraine. That's what we call it. It's a migraine. I'm lost. So I played bishop a6 because I got to do something and I don't want to resign. All right? The entire idea was to weaken the bot's pawn on the c4 square, which is exactly what I did. Now the bot wins by playing c5 or b5. b5 and c5, it's all completely winning. Like I said, look, as if cheating wasn't bad enough, as if having the capability to do anything you want at any given moment was not good enough, in this position, the bot played knight to b1. Now, admittedly, it would have been better to attack my bishop first and then play knight b1. I mean, if it wanted a knight, it should have at least prevented me from taking the pawn on c4, because now not only am I getting counterplay, I'm getting hope. And the most dangerous thing to give a person who is at their wit's end is hope, especially in a competitive environment. So my bot plays knight to b1, respawns a knight. Just really wanted a knight, really wanted a knight. So I played rook takes c4 because that's defended. Now at this point, I'm ready for, you know, a bishop to reappear and to take my rook. But I gotta go for something. I mean, I can't just give up, right? I have to go for something. So I play rook takes c4. To my surprise, the bot plays queen to d2. So I said, okay, now we're back in business. Okay, the bot is up 5 points of material, but now I can do what's called a rook swing. This is called a rook swing, a rook lift, whatever you want to call it. And now, this is how we are going to create counterplay. We are going to try to beat the bot. Like this. This is what we are going to try to do. All right? This kind of reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Yu-Gi-Oh! The original, after Darts and Atlantis, the big battle, the Kaiba tournament that he put on, and Yugi, the pharaoh, was dueling against Leon, the little kid with the red hair. And he won the duel with the last card, basically. Like, he has to throw away half his cards every single time because the castle of Strongberg or whatever. If this isn't resonating with you, you got to watch the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Not the one on the motorcycles. That one is, that's teaching people to, like, text and drive. Seriously, I don't even know. Anyway, my point is, rook g4. We're down to our wit's end. We've got to do what we can. We've got to go for the king. Now, again, instant replay, the queen just went to d2, right? It just went to d2. Well, now the bot decides that it doesn't like where the queen is, and the queen actually turns into a horse and goes queen f3. Queen f3, defending mate, threatening my rook. Don't like it, but luckily it didn't take my rook, which would have been really bad. So it does that, and I play rook to g6. And now the bot blunders. My plan here was to probably double up my rook somehow. Maybe bring my bishop back, maybe look for forking opportunities on the e2 square, but none of that is even necessary now. Because this cheating, garbage bot plays queen to g3. And I was like, yes. And I took the queen. And I took the queen. And now justice will prevail. And they always say, you have a choice to take toward the center or away from the center. Away, that way, away from the center. Take toward the center. And this is why they say it, because now the bishop is not protected. The bot played away from the center, and now I am completely winning. Because now I'm just going to go queen here and go after the king. And another way you win this position is you just trade the rooks. Just get rid of the rooks, because the rooks together are really powerful, but the solo rook will never stand up to the queen. And another thing that I will do is I will make sure I will never get back rank mated. Then my queen and bishop will scatter, and they will take all of white's pieces, and then I'm going to win the game. And then it went here. And it took my rook And as I have told you from the beginning of the video, I have 16 God-given pieces, and I am not going to replace them by cheating. So when the bot took away from the center and left its own bishop to perish in the center of the board, and I took it fair and square, the bot respawned, and now I am once again completely lost because the bot will hide the king, and queen and bishop are insufficient material here to win this game. The rooks will double up, and then white will simply escort these pawns to the edge of the board. The only thing that I can do here is blockade them, but it's simply a matter of time until the blockade is lifted. I have to leave, and the pawns will promote. My time is limited. The bot just took my rook. So what did I do? I prepared for the endgame. My king now cannot be mated on the back rank. Because my king cannot be mated on the back rank, I am going to run into the white position with my queen while my bishop monitors the advancement of this pawn. And as if it wasn't bad enough, to hang that bishop to me and then take my rook in this position, the bot played bishop to f4, spawning yet another piece onto the board like it has done multiple times already, and now taking a 7-point advantage into the endgame. And now the bishop stands powerfully. It protects all the pawns. The bishop is going to escort this pawn. This is simply not fair. So what did I play in this position? I played queen to f6. Because you know what? If the pawn goes up, I'm going to go here, stop the pawn, and try to snipe the rook on the opposite end of the board, which I figured there was a good chance the bot would not see. And I was right. Because in this position, the bot did not see the attack on the rook on the a1 square, and instead, this bishop, which had just surfaced on the board again, went to g5. An attack on my queen. A heinous misstep. But again, I was cognizant of the fact that if I went there, there is a chance that this bot will take my queen. And with no queen remaining on the board, I will not win. Remember, I am not going to cheat to break the rules against this absolute bozo. So I have to respect the rules of the game. And that is why I took on g5 with my pawn. Some of you may be wondering why I didn't take with my queen attacking this. I was worried I would be recaptured. And if a piece spawned from the heavens, then I would no longer have a queen. And I was right. And I was right. Because in this position, the bot really decided to turn it up. And after playing bishop to g5, pawn takes g5, it played bishop takes g5 again. That is my third time seeing a dark squared bishop on this board. This time I decided I've had enough. And you know what? If it dropped the bishop on the sky from me another time, that would have just been what happened. And that's how this video would have ended. But instead of that, that's not what happened. And instead, the bot went for my king. Welcome back to the light squared bishop. There it is, in all of its glory. I didn't know what to do here. I had a really bad feeling if I took that bishop, the bot would take my king. At which point, I would not argue, because it plays chess on its own rules. And if I tell it that I can't do that, or it can't do a certain thing, it might kill my family. You know what? So, let's just handle it exactly how we want. But the chess gods were watching this game. Because in this position, I decided to be brave, and I decided to take. But to my horror, the chess bot spawned a new queen. I'm already down 5 points of material, but it spawned a new queen anyway. Yet luckily for me, it spawned the new queen right here, which made my job a little bit easy. Because all I had to do was take. Was I worried that my queen would be hanging? Yes. Was I worried any of these pawns or a knight or an invisible bishop could take my queen? Yes. But none of that happened. Instead of taking my queen, the bot sent a missile from above onto the g5 square. Rook to g5. And this may shock you, but I did not take the rook. because the last sequence of moves put my queen on the g5 square, h5 square, not g5 square. And from this position, I can take the rook. And I went all in. You ever seen a high stakes hand of poker? Person goes all in, other person has a clock on them. They've got to make a massive decision. Do they go all in as well? Do they fold? What are they going to do? Only you can see the cards. It's check on the king. The king can go to f2, or the bot can cheat the system and capture my queen somehow. And here, after a moment of thinking, the bot indeed realized it has an open space, and it played king to f2. And in this position, I played queen f1 checkmate. And I won the battle of 7-dimensional chess versus this brand new, terrifying Gotham bot. Humanity is still safe.